Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle update. All right, so yesterday I went for my needle biopsy of my thyroid gland. You guys remember from last week, I explained to you that I had a nodule that I found on my thyroid gland. I had gotten it ultrasounded. It looked highly suspicious. It was rated a 5 out of 5 on the rating scale. So I was having trouble getting an appointment with an endocrinologist around here in this Southwest Florida area, Fort Myers area, Cape Coral. I called an old friend of mine from high school that I went to with, and we were really good, best friends probably growing up. And he is an endocrinologist. He's in Miami. He said, you know what, Dave, forget these guys. Just come to me. I actually do my own biopsies. Unlike most places, you go to a radiologist and it could take 2 to 4 hours. You know, they give you like IV sometimes. They do these big needle biopsies, and they make you sit there with pressure on your neck. He's like, just come to my office, I'll do it for you. So I went to his office, and you can see, we're gonna cut for a second to the car ride there, and then you'll see what happened. And my friend Leonard Thaler, Dr. Leonard Thaler, Lenny to me, you know, it was great going to see him, because here's a guy, like I said, who's like a best friend of mine, and here he is, you know, putting me at ease. It took him 5 minutes to do the biopsy. We went out to eat after, you know, and I want to just really thank him tremendously for this. Let's cut to yesterday's events. Going up to my friend Dr. Leonard Thaler's office, and he's going to be doing the needle biopsy on my thyroid gland, a little nodule I have on there. So we're going to see if that is going to be something that needs to be taken out, or if it's something serious. And Lenny and I went to school, you know, from kindergarten up. I mean, we've known each other that long. We used to do sleepovers. We played soccer together, Dungeons and Dragons, in television, video games. You know, I mean, it was one of my best friends growing up. So it's kind of ironic that at 52, or I'm going to be 53 next week, years old, I'm going to his office now, and he's going to be sticking a needle in my neck 5 or 6 times, and hopefully, you know, saving my life here. So I feel comfortable in his hands. Lenny was always a little smarter than me anyway in school, so we were very competitive and stuff like that, but he was a little smarter. I'll give him that credit. Maybe I was a little stronger than him, but he was definitely smarter than I was. Certainly in math, that's for sure. So anyway, I'm going to go up to his office, and hopefully we'll be able to film this whole thing so you guys can see what they do and how they use the ultrasound guidance, and they stick the needle in my neck. Obviously, I won't be enjoying it, even though my wife thinks I enjoy putting needles into my body. No, just kidding. But look, it's something that has to be done, and once they biopsy it, obviously it'll be sent to the lab, and then we'll have to wait and see what it comes back as, and then we'll know more. Let's go up and see my high school friend, Lenny Thaler. All right, I'm about to get my needle biopsy done here by my friend Lenny, Dr. Thaler. And there's the ultrasound. I'm going to use that ultrasound machine, and so they can see my thyroid, and then he's going to stick a couple needles in my neck. Not something I'm looking forward to, but could be a lot worse, I guess. Stay tuned. All right, there's the ultrasound. There's my friend Dr. Thaler. Lenny, say hi. He's preparing all the needles to stick in my neck. There's no anesthesia, guys. It just goes right into your neck.
Yeah, the extra big needles.
They're extra big ones too, yeah.
Okay, on the screen.
I gotta tell
Okay.
you, it didn't hurt. You got a needle stuck in? How many of these you do, Lenny, usually?
I'm gonna do probably 4.
So
That's
4
fine.
sticks. It was not bad. He sprayed some stuff and froze my neck a little bit, and I really didn't feel anything, to tell you the truth. So that's because he's got the expert touch. You know, it's all about the touch. All right, back in the car. I have I have like a neck band on. I look like so I can cover my nose. I'm going to my friend Lenny's house. We're having sushi for dinner, and then I'll head back. We'll do a little interview with him when we get to his house, so he's in a more informal setting, and I can get him to tell the truth about my thyroid gland. Stay tuned. All right, so that's what happened yesterday, okay? I went to his office. He did the needle biopsy. He stuck 4 needles in my neck. The first 2 were not that bad. The second 2 were a little uncomfortable, but it really, I got to tell you, it sounds much more scary than it was. This morning, actually, I was a little sore. Almost like if I coughed or something like that, I kind of felt it. It was like someone kind of bruised me a little bit there, but really it was not a bad experience. And like I said, I completely trusted him 100%. The guy he does one of those every single day. So that's the person you want doing it. And he's an endocrinologist, not just he's not a radiologist. So I really felt comfortable with him doing it. I really can't thank him enough. I went to his house after we picked up some sushi. In Miami, everything's still locked down. You can't go out to eat. So we took some sushi out, we brought it to his house, and I ate dinner with him and his wife, Debbie. And we were talking about old times and about COVID, vaccines, and all kinds of crazy, so much so that I forgot to interview him. I wanted to interview him, and I completely forgot. And by the time I remembered, it was dark out, so I never got to interview him. But this is really, the bottom line is that he got they take some cells out, they send them away to be cultured and looked at under a microscope, biopsy essentially. And within a week, I should get the results back to see what the cells were. Were they malignant? Were they benign? If they were malignant, what kind of possible cancer it could be. If it was a papillary, a medullary, or a follicular, there's a whole bunch of different ones it can be. Some are worse than others. The good thing was it was a small spot. Originally, when I had sent him the films, he had seen another spot on the other lobe. And when he ultrasounded me, there was nothing there. So I only have that one little nodule there. Worst case scenario, if it had to come out, they probably could take 1 lobe out and still leave half my thyroid in, which would be great because I might not even need replacement then. That's the worst case scenario. He looked at my lymph nodes. He said they look clean. So best case scenario is it's just benign. I don't know. Obviously, it did look he said it looked highly suspicious. He gave me a 50-50 chance that it could be, cancer or not. We'll find out in a week, and I'll give you guys an update. Once that happens, if it is something that needs to be removed, I would have to go see a thyroid surgeon, essentially, who does cancer surgeries. He has a specialist friend of his in Miami. I'll probably go see him because, you know what? I said, Lenny, if you had to get operated on you or your family, who would you pick? And he said, this guy. That's all he does is, thyroid, parathyroid, and adrenal surgeries. So that's the person you want. The guy does thousands of them. So if I'm going to go to anyone, it will be out there to that surgeon. And that will be another whole video that we'll have to go see him first. He'll scan my whole body and see what's going on. And then, we'll talk about what needs to get done. In the best case scenario, it's something that's, that's not, malignant, and that maybe we can just watch it and keep an eye on it and see what the problem is. The issue, from what my friend told me, is that usually, malignant cells will have like that shedding, that almost like that calcification on the outside of it. That's sometimes a telltale sign of it. Mine has calcification, but mine was more like a shell over it almost. It wasn't like little pieces of calcification. It was actually like a hardened shell over it. And that's why he had to take several approaches to get the biopsy from my neck. And it's interesting because, people think the thyroid is up here. The thyroid's actually down here, like low. So they went in right here, like really low on my neck, almost where my sternum is here. So I didn't even realize that. So when you go to the doctor and they feel your neck, a lot of times they're not even feeling your thyroid gland. They don't even, these regular GP doctors don't even know where your thyroid is. And I found that kind of humorous and interesting too, but not surprising because, we all think the doctors are gods and a lot of them just don't know that much. And once again, I felt really good in the hands of my friend Lenny, and I want to thank Lenny once again for not only, taking me on a moment's notice, so to speak, but also for, treating me to dinner. And we had some great conversation with him and his wife, Deb. And I'm sorry I missed his son, but his son's away at Emory College. He's 20 years old. The last time I saw his son, he was like 3 years old. now he's a full-grown guy, full-grown man, and he's off on his own. So it's all good. So far, so good. Once again, it's a journey. We'll see where it leads. I just want to keep you updated. Keep checking out my Instagram and, of course, the RX Muscle YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of these updates on my latest medical issue. A lot of people have asked me how I'm doing, psychologically about this whole thing, and I'm pretty good with it. I'm not a freak out guy, I think if I would have been told I had like pancreatic cancer, that would have been very traumatic. But thyroid cancer, it seems like it's very small, it's contained. And Lenny even said that, I was lucky that they just by accident found it because it wasn't even a nodule that was on the top of my thyroid. Like you could never feel it by palpating. It was buried in the thyroid gland. So I was, someone was watching over me up there and we just happened to find it very early, and that's the way to do it. If you're going to have something wrong with you, you want to find it really early before it progresses into something, dangerous. All right, I'm Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle News Update. Stay tuned for more.